Maybe you've heard us mention here on KARE 11 that we're just one day away from the beginning of the Summer Olympics in Paris. And in a break from tradition, the opening ceremony will start with more than 10,000 athletes arriving to the Games on boats along the Seine River. It's promising to be just one of the many unforgettable moments over the next couple of weeks. And from those moments will come some powerful photos of raw emotion. But what you might not realize is just how much those pictures can tell us about us. Kent went to the U today to find out how a study of those pictures is shedding new light on what it means to win a gold, silver, or bronze. Hey, Kent.
Hey, Jana, it's cliche to say that a picture is worth 1,000 words, but today I learned that if you have software that analyzes facial expressions, a single picture can also decode 8 different emotions. And a recent study using that software at the U of M led to a discovery that tells us the emotional worth of gold, silver, and bronze. If you're looking for the poster child for Olympic joy, and Minnesota's Jessie Diggins comes to mind,
she would be at the extreme on the happy side in our database.
Professor William Hedgecock says the field of facial expression research has your back.
A very happy, joyous expression.
And inside this lab at the University of Minnesota's Carlson School of Management, he's not just searching for smiles. He's using artificial intelligence software to decode emotional intensity.
There's neutral, so she could have a neutral expression: happy, sad, angry, surprised, scared, disgusted, and contempt. These are the expressions we can actually encode with a certain amount of accuracy. There are many other emotions, but we can't code them by looking at your expressions.
Using these guidelines, Hedgecock and his team poured through more than 400 photos of Olympic athletes side by side on the medal stand to see what their facial expressions could tell us.
Our average result was basically this.
While it's no surprise gold medalists were happiest overall, there was a slight upset.
Silver is the least happy and bronze is in between, and bronze is more happy than silver. If you're silver, it's salient that I could have been first. If you're bronze, you're sitting here going, I could be that person sitting not on the medal stand, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Now you might be wondering, why does it matter? Keep in mind, this is a marketing lab.
We use similar facial expression technology to look at how people respond to advertisements and movie trailers.
What have you learned from photos that maybe you wouldn't have learned from polling someone?
I can see how you're reacting without having to ask you. If I ask you, it affects how you process in the future. Let's say I like to go to comedy clubs. And if you ask me after every joke, how funny was that? It affects my subsequent reaction to the next joke.
Using a webcam, this software can also go far beyond photos and actually track your expressions in real time, adding another dimension to this type of research.
I think there's a lot of information we can get by looking at expressions, and especially expressions over time. We often use surveys at the end of an ad. And that's great to understand how you process the ad at the end. But we may not accurately remember what we were doing 5 or 10 seconds into the commercial.
It's also a bit of a truth test. Yes, even for athletes.
Maybe you don't want to say, well, I was less happy about silver because it doesn't sound good.
And if you want a poster child for that Olympic disappointment,
Michaela Maroney, which is the example I always use in class, although my students no longer remember this. It is unfortunate to realize I've gotten that old, apparently.
yeah, I feel a little old there too. Now, if you are old enough to remember the context behind this photo, Michaela Maroney wasn't impressed because she was widely considered a lock for a gold medal in that vault, but stumbled into a silver. Williams says they actually researched those medal expectations to see how they factored into the expressions, but overall, the trend of bronze medalists appearing happier than silver, it stuck through all of it. Jana.
That's fascinating. I can't help but think of politics because it's on the brain as of late. And what if we replaced polling with facial expressions over what you're really thinking about what policy or what candidate? I mean,
It's funny you say that because they are studying political ads and looking at that. So maybe we'll have some news for that to come.
all right, well, somebody uses a fake smile or a forced smile. What about that?
They can detect that with that software, so they can kind of suss that out. But he had said also that's why they're looking at 400 different photos, because there's maybe 1 or 2 that you can throw out. But over time, over many Olympics, it's a truth serum.